Hi, it's Kirk from The Next Level Now. You know, when you watch someone achieve some big goal, some big thing that they've done that you're aware of, maybe you're watching a sporting event, maybe you've gone to a symphony concert or a rock concert, maybe you're in a museum looking at a fabulous piece of art. It is amazing as you think about it that someone, first of all, was able to accomplish that. And if you actually see it being done in front of you, there are some steps that you mentally go through as you watch this unfold. First, awe. It's like, wow, did I actually just see that happen? And then the next thing that comes into your mind is, oh, wouldn't that be cool to be able to do that? A little bit of envy. Then as you start to think about what it would take to get there and do it, you suddenly start to have a little bit of overwhelm. Oh my heavens, I could never do all of that. And then finally, to kind of justify it all, you start to think poorly of the person who just accomplished this fantastic feat. Well, he must have had a lot of help. He must have had a lot of money behind him. Natural talent, and you make all these reasons why you can't do it. And through my life, I have gone down that rabbit hole so many times. And finally, a number of years ago, I decided, you know what? Maybe if I just copy what that successful person does, maybe I can do the same thing. So I started off doing what I thought they were doing. I'd set a goal. I want to do this, do that, whatever it was, hit a golf ball 200 yards, whatever it is. And then I would say, I'm going to practice. I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. And rather than be envious and make all kinds of excuses why I couldn't, I was very excited. I'd found a way to motivate myself to go do it. The problem was I wasn't achieving the same level of success. And I got thinking about that and I thought, what the heck? So I did what most of us would do. I'm not doing enough of it. I'm not doing it right. So I doubled down. I'd do twice as much. I'd work harder. And was still not reaching that level of success that I wanted. Very frustrating, very upsetting. And you get to the point where you say, to heck with it, I quit. Or you'd put it off for a few days and come back and you'd forget where you were. And it was just a miserable thing. We weren't able to copy what I had just watched someone else just not that long ago do right in front of my very eyes. And it got me to thinking, and what came to mind was Pavlov's dogs. Now, I don't know if you remember Pavlov and the experiment or not. I'll review it quickly for you. Pavlov was a Russian scientist, and he was studying what happened to dogs when he'd feed them and ring a bell. And he'd feed them and he'd ring a bell, and he'd feed them and he'd ring a bell. Then one day he just rang the bell, and the dogs went nuts. They're jumping all over each other, wagging tails, drooling, because they were conditioned to believe that with the bell came the food. And our brains work exactly the same way. All right, we are conditioned for responses. And this was a self-preservation thing back when we were caveman kind of thing. But any external stimulus, something you see, something you smell, something you taste, something you hear, something you feel, causes a triggered reaction in your brain. And it will produce a neurotransmitter, a hormone called dopamine, which hits the pleasure center of your brain. And you're happy. You feel good about it. If I smell bacon, hey, good stuff. If I see a pretty sunset, ooh, good stuff. That dopamine makes you enjoy it, makes you come back for it. Now, if you think about this, that explains addictions, doesn't it? Okay, they keep coming back for it because that dopamine gets triggered. But you see, we can use that same response to help us. All we have to do is find a way to trigger the dopamine. And that will not only will have the motivation, but we'll have the drive and the desire and the determination to stay with the program. So instead of doing the same thing and expecting different results, which is the definition of insanity, we realize that we have to do something different to get the different result. So what I'm going to suggest to you is a couple of things. First of all, get clear on what it is that you want. I mean crystal clear. I mean, describe it immaculately. Write it down and look at that several times a day. That's going to trigger a dopamine drop. Okay, once that dopamine hits your brain, oh, okay, yeah, I'm excited about this. Plan out your steps to get to that goal. That will excite you. Break those steps into smaller chunks, and then each time you do one of those smaller chunks, celebrate. Have a glass of your favorite beverage. Have something fun to eat. Take a walk, read, whatever it is that you enjoy. Show someone, talk to someone about it. Whatever it is to trigger that dopamine release, that is going to keep you moving forward towards that goal. That's how you're going to reach the end point. So it's not just the motivation, but it's the discipline necessary to stay on that path. And if you do that and you take advantage of that dopamine drip, it's just like looking at your tablet. And each time you get a new picture or your phone, you scroll past it. Dopamine drip, dopamine drip, dopamine drip. Okay. That, believe it or not, on average in America, that keeps people occupied 6.5 hours a day. Now, we're not talking about a huge amount of dopamine. We're just talking about enough to, ooh, nice. That's all we're looking for. So you don't have to have a big, huge celebration. You just need to have that little kick of dopamine to keep you going. Now, there's many other things that are going to help you in this process. And that's what the next level now is all about. We're here to help you. We're here to give you this advice, help you move through it, find ways to motivate and get you the discipline to go take this. But some other things that we can definitely help you with that you are going to need along the way. First of all, you're going to need to be in some better health. I can guarantee it. There's very few of us out there who are in great health and can just get up and go do. We're here to coach you with that. You're going to need some communication skills. We're here to help you with that. And we're here to help guide you and not give you the answers, but help you discover your own answers, your own way to reaching whatever goal it is you have in mind. So if this is something that interests you, please DM me, give me a message here in the chat below, direct message me, whatever it takes to get a hold of me, and let's talk. We'll have a little conversation, see if we can help you as well. All right, till next time, folks, thanks so much. See ya. Bye-bye.